Alright, hello everybody! Hello! Welcome back to the lounge, where we are going to further dive deeper into my various childhood memories. I was actually thinking about maybe doing because I knew that at some point on my channel, I wanted to kind of go into talking about lots of different kinds of collectibles. Not just magic cards. I've always kind of wanted to talk about my comic book collection as well. So considering that I have now been diving deeper into older nostalgic collections of my own, I'm thinking maybe I might do comic books at some point. I don't know. Oh, look at me being silly. I didn't even set up... Normally I do all this huge setup for my chat log, and I didn't even do that today, so we're gonna do it the old sketchy way, which is I can see you guys on my main chat for my computer. So hi everybody! Hello! So it looks like we have Lettuce. He says, no, don't touch me there, this is the Habanero Square. That's a good catchphrase, I like that. Dragon Slayer Gaming, good to see you. Does telekinesis count? Yes. Yes, it does, I think. Should be fine. Sam Dunn and King Gold, good to see you guys. Glad to have you in here. And Lettuce says, how's my peoples? Well, I'm doing good, and I hope everybody else is doing good. So, I was debating about whether I even wanted to, do this originally. Talking about looking over these cards some more. But it seems that they kind of have more of an intrigue than I originally expected them to be. I've been talking about these cards with a few different people, especially on YouTube. And earlier today, in fact, actually, he's probably still going right now. So the last time that I had talked about my card collection, the Pokemon card collection and the Yu-Gi-Oh cards and all that, I was inspired to do it because I was watching a YouTuber called the Shuffle Master, Aaron Hansen. I've actually been following and watching Aaron Hansen's content for an extremely, extremely long time. Back in the days of Newgrounds, I used to actually watch his cartoons on there and heavily enjoyed them. I even sometimes reference some of his older material as well. But it's been really cool watching him, transition to YouTube, doing all the stuff that he does on YouTube, which is, also kind of inspiring to stuff that I do on YouTube. And he also has the Shuffle Master channel going on now, which is he just kind of opens up cards and talks about cards and things like that. And his streams have been a lot more intriguing to me than I originally expected. I wasn't really sure if I was going to be interested in watching him open up boxes of cards. And for the most part, I'm not super interested in all the cards that he opens up all the time. When he has done magic cards, it's actually kind of funny because a lot of the stuff I do on YouTube has been in some form oriented with Magic the Gathering. And despite that, I've never been a big fan of content about Magic the Gathering on YouTube. Now, I mean, I watch a couple of YouTubers that talk about Magic the Gathering regularly, but it's not this huge, deep interest of mine that I spend hours watching stuff on YouTube about Magic the Gathering. And that goes for most card games. But when I was watching Aaron Hansen Shuffle Master's opening of Pokemon cards, I was like, oh, this is kind of curious. I'm kind of interested in this. Let me just go ahead and check it out for a little bit. And I was like, well, and Aaron Hansen's a pretty entertaining dude, so if nothing else, I'll just watch it because he's an entertaining dude. And when he was going through his stuff, he was talking about how valuable some of the cards were, and that's what got me to originally go through my older collection again and kind of find all this stuff out. And then, lo and behold, I find out that I have this small fortune worth of cards on my hands that I had no idea was worth a fortune. It's kind of like... It was kind of like one of those moments that you hear rumors or stories about where they're like, oh yeah, I went into my basement and I pulled out a box and it had all my old cards and there was an Alpha Black Lotus in my card collection and suddenly I realized that I had a card worth multiple thousands of dollars. that it's like that story, but for Pokemon cards for me. And I kind of realized, I went to Aaron Hansen's Shuffle Master stream today and did just a really quick super chat. Was kind of curious as to what else he had been... I was kind of curious as to what other stuff he had mentioned and talked about, and I wanted to leave a super chat letting him know that because of his stream and the intrigue that it created for me, I went over and looked around for my box of cards and found them and dove into them and realized that I had these valuable cards. Well, upon donating to him, he actually called out, like, I didn't want to, like, be a show-off and be like, I have, like, this really amazing card that everybody's kind of surprised about. So what I did was I made it more general, and I just basically said to him, like, hey, love your content. I was watching your Pokemon opening stream, found out I had a collection of cards worth a fortune, and if I had not watched your stream, I would have never found out that it was worth a fortune. And he responded after reading that he was curious about seeing what kind of cards I had in the collection that I was talking about. So he asked me to hop onto Twitter, which I don't really do. I'm not much of a Twitter guy. And he basically asked me to tweet him photos, and I also went ahead and sent him a tweet of the stream where I showed off a lot of the cards. And I kind of realized that I didn't really go deep into the Pokemon cards. I just kind of like found the 6 that were worth a lot of money and just kind of displayed them, talked about them briefly, and then moved on to Yu-Gi-Oh cards because those were cards I had not looked at yet. And then I kind of realized that I wanted to go deeper into these Pokemon cards because upon looking some things up, I found out that there are probably cards that I just kind of didn't really look into that were probably worth more or worth paying attention to. And I just flipped past them and didn't think about it. So I kind of wanted to do this stream and do exactly that, which is kind of more thoroughly... This is the ratty, tatted... Like, look at this binder. It's falling apart, you guys. Like, look at that. Look at that. Look at how ridiculous that is. This thing is falling apart. This binder was given to me along with a whole bunch of cards and booster box, like a booster box, when I was a kid. And this has been basically the binder that I keep the majority of my Pokemon card collection, and I've had it since I was a very small child. I have some other cards off to the side. I don't know if we'll get through them, but I figure we'll focus on what's in the binder and see where we go from there. So, and then obviously a part of this too is I'm doing this so that I can record all of the valuable cards so that I can show them off to people who are curious later. Like I said to Aaron Hansen, he seemed like he was legitimately curious about what I found in my collection. So I kind of wanted to do this stream to not only hang out with you guys and have a good time and also kind of look over the cards and talk about them and have some memories, but also to have a video record of what this collection kind of looks like so that people like Aaron Hansen can look at it or other people in the future can look at it, whoever's interested. Because I was, like I said, I was legitimately surprised by this collection. I had no idea. I spent a very large amount of time assuming that this collection was worth nothing. Like, no joke. Most of my life was like, it's kind of like when, I don't know, like you get into some kind of random card game and nobody really plays it with you, but you like the cards and you think they're cool, so you just kind of collect them and you don't really care. That's what Pokemon was like for me as a kid, was like I didn't play the game, and nobody really played the game with me, so I never had a reason to play the game. So I just collected the cards because I liked Pokemon, and now here we are in the future, and surprisingly they're worth something. So let me catch up on the chat, and then I will crack open this binder. So it says, doing well. Dragon's Lair says, doing well, Lettuce. How about yourself? Lettuce says, worn out, broken, and shamed. Aw, Lettuce. That's why you're here, buddy. You come out and hang out with us, and you let all that stress go, Home Slice. You just take it easy and relax, homie. King Gold is saying hello to Lettuce, and this song is way too hardcore for me. It's really weird. It's weird that this comes into, like, a chill playlist. It's like, yeah, rock it out! I think that happened last time, too. So I have also TCG Player over here on the side, so we can look up some card prices out of curiosity. Dragon's Lair Gaming says, hands out Swedish Fish out to everybody to enjoy a stream with. Oh, I love Swedish Fish. Pass some over here, buddy. King Gold says, did you ever start a band because of your first video? Okay, so that's, wow, King Gold. Good for you, man, going into my backlog and seeing what was going on. The video that you're referencing was me and a few friends used to have a band a long, long time ago. In fact, actually, one of those friends might possibly be watching this stream either now or in the future. If you guys ever see a guy pop into the chat log named G Gamer, that is a friend of mine from the distant past, and actually, the video where I get, so that video is of me, Caesar, and G Gamer, also known as Galen. And Galen was the guy who was recording the video, and Caesar was the guy that I did that wedgie to. And yeah, we used to have a band a long time ago. We had a couple of bands, and that band was called the Penguin Soldiers. And very short-lived band, but we had a good time with it. And it was one of the first bands where we were actually trying to, like, we made, like, 2 EP CDs. I actually own I still own the very first EP CD we did that was supposed to be our demo CD that we were going to send and make copies of to sell as merchandise. Wow, I haven't thought about that in a long time. But another thing, too, is that what you guys don't know is on my channel, there is a collection of maybe 5 or 6 videos that you can't find because I have privated them. And those videos were of me and those guys and a few other people playing music together for shows and practice and things like that. One of the other bands, I think, was called Yours for a Night, and I actually wasn't in that band, but I spent a lot of time hanging out with those guys, and I helped manage their merch and you know, like selling CDs and stuff like that. So there were a bunch of videos of the Penguin Soldiers, which was the band I was in, and Yours for a Night, which I kind of did merchandise and things for. And I actually privated all those videos because that's not really a part of this channel anymore. But the Wedgie video is the last remaining video of that time period in my life. And that was a long time ago. That was more than, like, 10 years ago. That was back in the very, very early days of YouTube. So anyways, sorry, I was kind of getting nostalgic. Apparently we're all about the nostalgia today. So let me crack this guy open. Sorry for wasting time. Let's kind of move into this. Whoa, messy. Okay, so I got a bunch of random crap here. Kind of all over the place. So let me see what it looks like on my side so I can make sure that I can line the binder up so you guys can see everything alright. Maybe I'll move... no, I kind of like that where that is right there. So that seems alright. Let me move it kind of down a little bit. There we go, there we go. And that looks alright. Let me know if you guys have any trouble seeing. I'll probably be flipping between a few different screens here so I can make sure that I can... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let's see if I can kind of get that smaller so I can see the chat log. Alright, good stuff. Alright, so now I can see the chat log, I can see the video log, I can keep track of everything, and I can swap between TCG Player. So Ratherwood says, oh hey, glad I caught you, it's dinner time for me. Well, glad to have you in here, Ratherwood, and if you have to dip out because you need to eat or anything, no problems, man. Glad to have you in here. Mr. Ashed, what's up, brother? Mr. Ashed says, good evening, everyone. So, the first thing that I think I should pull out and show off is I have this, Ancient Mew card. Ancient Mew! Ooh! Which was a promo card from the first movie, I think. And, despite how beautiful and neat and cool this card is heavily damaged. Now, it's kind of hard to see it on the front side, but if I flip it over, you'll probably be able to see it. Yeah, look at that. So if you guys look right there, there is a gigantic crease. All along, like there's a big old crease right there, and there's a partial crease right there, right on the backside. Which is too bad, because this card is really cool, but as I kind of already talked to you guys about before when we were going over the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, I didn't give a shit as a little kid. Like, you know? So I was lucky enough to, like, you know, put most of these cards into sleeves and put them in the binder because, you know, I generally didn't care about most of them, or I cared so much that I didn't want anything bad to happen to them. Like, for example, the Charizard that I've shown you guys a few times is in fantastic condition because the Charizard card from the base set was a big fucking deal even when you were, like, when it was released. Like, when Charizard, the Charizard card in the original base sets first came out, everybody knew it was a big fucking deal, and they were like, oh, that's immediately a collectible. There's no reason to, like, question it. It is immediately a collectible. So, when I opened up that Charizard, here, let me bring him over here for reference so that people can know. Everybody knows Charizard, but, wait, there he is, okay. It's... Once again, I keep loving to show it off because it's so cool. This is a base set second printing. So not the first base set, but the second printed base set Charizard. And I cracked this guy, and basically people were like, oh, here, you know, put it in your binder right away. Don't do anything else to it. Just put it in the binder. And this was before, like, I did anything about penny sleeves. So, for the majority of my childhood, I had a lot of these really hard-to-get cards just sitting in a binder with no sleeves on them whatsoever. But because it went directly into the binder, and I never really fondled it or played with it, it stayed in really good condition. I eventually put it into a penny sleeve when I was a young teenager. And then kind of, like, I went through the whole binder and penny sleeved all the cards that seemed like more important, I guess, or more rare, or whatever. So these cards, a lot of these cards stayed in really good condition, but some of them, like this Mew that I was pointing out to, not so much. It's not that I played with it, it's just that it's hard to describe. It's kind of like when you have certain cards that seem more, like, toy-like, and you want to, like, literally physically play with it, even if you're not playing the actual card game. So this thing got into some rough shape, but I still have it, and it's a collectible, and it's worth the nostalgia for me. And I did actually pick this up at the actual movie. When I went to go see... I was such a big Pokemon fanatic when I was a kid. I definitely went to go see the first Pokemon movie in theaters. I made sure that my parents dragged me to it, and they handed these promo cards out to a bunch of people, and so that's where I got this guy. And I actually have a couple of other promo cards from movies as well. I think I got a promo card from the second movie as well, and I also had a different Mew card in addition to this one that was also from the same first movie. Because I saw the first Pokemon movie twice, and got 2 different promotional Mew cards for it, which is really kind of cool. So let me kind of look around a little. Let me see what you guys are saying here. Dragon's Lair Gaming says, hey, at Wrath of Wood and Mr. Shed, how are you two fine gentlemen doing tonight? Wrath of Wood says, baller stream tonight, all the cool kids are, hello. Ancient Mew is underpowered because it's so old and power creep. Yeah, that's true. A lot of the Pokemon cards are considered, from what I've heard, to be not very strong. But I mean, you can compare that to, like, you know, Magic the Gathering. Like, the cards in Alpha and Beta are, I mean, you know, there's some hard hits, sure. But, like, I mean, a lot of the cards in Alpha and Beta are very underpowered compared to today's standard. Rutherwood also says, my Charizard is so damaged from the washer, the foil layer is showing through. Well, hold on to it for nostalgia, if nothing else. And you never know, maybe someday somebody might still want to collect it or keep it, unless you want to collect it or keep it. Dragon's Lair Gaming says, I should sleeve and binder a whole mess of the different cards I have, but I would have to spend probably $1,000 on supplies to do that. Dude, when I was doing perfect fits for my cube, I spent probably a couple $100 buying Japanese perfect fit double sleeves for the entire cube, so I understand that, but it's worth it. I know, like, you might have to spend a few hundred to get everything you need sleeved, but definitely go for it. If nothing else, go out and buy yourself, like, a couple of packs of penny sleeves. They're called penny sleeves simply because you can literally buy a pack of them for $1, so, like... you know, it's like, even if you're just doing penny sleeves, it's worth it. You know, I only do perfect sleeves on the stuff that I'm playing with that are valuable. But if it's just like this Charizard has only a penny sleeve on it underneath the hard case. So it's just a penny sleeve and a hard case, and that's it. And I'm sure that I could probably do way more to protect it, but, you know, it's fine like this. I don't know if I really need to go through way more effort than what is right here. And I'm sure that there could be some people who will be like, no, you need to send it in to be graded, and then you need to hard case it with the bolts and make sure it's mint sealed. And it's like, yeah, I know, but, like, I'm poor. and I don't have time for that shit, man. I mean, maybe someday. Maybe of all the cards that I have, this will probably be the one that I will someday have bolted in a case or something. But until I really, really feel like that it's absolutely necessary, like, if this single Charizard card goes into like $1,000 or more, because it's in the $500 range, because it's not the original print, it's the second print. But if it goes into like $1,000 or more, then yeah, I'll probably get it bolt cased or whatever. Dragon Slayer, oh, I already read that. Ratherwood says Mew from the movie, it's probably got popcorn butter on it. Yeah, well, it's just got a gnarly crease, like a gnarly fucking crease. King Gold says, I was thinking of starting a band with recording with cassette tapes, and I was thinking of calling the band Operation Mori. What do you think? Go for it, man. Dude, totally. Like, just get out there and make something. You know, go and make some music and have a good time, dude. King Gold says, or something with Operation. You do it, brother. You do you, man. Rutherwood says, you should do it, King. Hell yeah. And it's Latin for death, says King Gold. Very nice. So let's move on from this first page. We've stared at it for a while because I was so busy chatting with everybody. So there's nothing pretty impressive about this. All of these guys, like these are all shadowed cards, which means they came from the second base set. Not really seeing anything immediately. We got a Beedrill, original second printing base set Beedrill. Hell yeah. This is the jungle. I remember that. There was, because I bought I bought cards from the second base set, the jungle set, and then the fossil set. I bought so many cards from the fossil set when I was a kid. And yeah, I might maybe we should let's just take a gander. Let's take a looky-loo. We're gonna kind of look at these two guys here on the side. I'm very curious. I feel like Beedrill is probably not going to be anything, but Pidgeot might be something. So let's take a look. I'm over here on TCG Player. I know you guys can't see it, but that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and type in Beedrill, and he is the second base set. Oh, I spelt that wrong. Herpaderp. It's not Beedrill, it's Bedrill. Bedrill. Okay, so right away it shows up. I'm curious if it has a good price on it if it's second base set. So I'm looking at it, shadowed second base set. It's like $3, so no. No, Beedrill. And it's funny because, like, it's funny that the rarity of it doesn't necessarily determine how much it's worth, because it's considered a rare card, but it's not worth anything. So let me try Pidgeot and see what we get. Hey, Pidgeot. What? How much? Ooh, the foil one is worth $10, but that's not what I got here. I have a regular non-foil jungle Pidgeot. $3. Okay. Well, okay, so these two are about the same, approximately. So that's good to know. Let's take a look at what else we got here. So somebody told me that apparently Pikachu from the first and second base set are worth a lot, which is really strange because it's a common card. So I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it's gotta be, like, that can't be right. Yeah, I had a feeling that couldn't be right. Somebody was like, oh, dude, the original Pikachu is worth $40. So I have the second base set Pikachu here, and it says it's, I mean, it's nothing to scoff at. It says it's worth about $7. So that's pretty good for a common from the second base set. Let me see if I can find a Shadowless version, because this is not the Shadowless, which would, I assume, be worth more. But I don't have a Shadowless one, which is print number 1. There it is, Shadowless. Oh, wow! The Shadowless Pikachu, the common card, which has this art, but it doesn't have the shadow, so it's the first printing. That one's worth $20. That's pretty hardcore for a common card. That's pretty cool. Let me make sure you guys can see that. I'm pretty sure you guys can. Yeah, you guys can see it. So this guy right here, the one that's in my binder, is worth about $7. The one from the first base set, which I do not have, is worth about $20, which is crazy for a common card. I never would have expected that. But then again, like, it's kind of like I kind of try to compare it to things that I can understand from Magic the Gathering, which is, like, for example, Ristic Study is like a $20 common card. So I guess I could see how that kind of stuff happens. So I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that the original Pikachu is worth an assload of money. Let's see. Brotherwood says, King Gold, I recorded with tapes and old stereo a long time ago. I just put the instrument right into it and rock out. That's awesome, man. That's the way to do it. That's ballin'. Classic, just jamming out the music, man. Like, hell yeah. Even, like, when you can't really be professional or do anything like that. That's rad as hell. Dragon Slayer Gaming says, I probably have at least 30 plus 500 count card boxes to go through in sleeve/binder. Well, I mean, you know, if a lot of it's bulk, then you don't need to necessarily worry about everything. Just kind of, you know, pick out pieces that, like, do what I'm doing. You know, like, where I'm, like, kind of going over it and, like, got TCG Player in front of me and I'm kind of plugging in names to kind of find out what's worth something and what's not. Let's see here. What do we got? So there's a rare Raichu, but I'm going to skip him, because I'm trying to focus on the older cards. So I'm kind of focusing on the Fossil Jungle base set cards that I have in my collection. The rest of them I'm just going to kind of avoid. So we're going to ignore this Raichu, even though he's a rare. He's just from a different set. So right off the bat, Nidoqueen Foil 2nd Edition, which is, I don't even know what printing 2nd Edition is. It's not a base set. It's way later. And then I have a base set Nidoking, 2nd printing. So this is a 2nd printed Nidoking, and so I feel like that might be worth it's gotta be worth something, right? Right, guys? That would be a thing, I think. Like, it's 2nd base set foil Nidoking. Well, let's look up Nidoqueen first, because I feel like we should look her up and see what she looks like. And she is not the jungle printing, she is the 2nd edition printing, which I have right here. Nidoqueen, 2nd edition foil printing, base set 2. Weird. Because I know that's not the 2nd printing base set. It's literally called base set 2. Because there's base set, which has no shadow, and that's 1st print. And then there's base set with shadow, which is 2nd print. But then there's this collection here that says base set 2, known as 2nd edition, which is 3rd or 4th printing? I don't know. That's really weird. I should probably look up, like, how the sets were printed to get a better idea of, like, how old this thing is. However, Nidoqueen here, little Queenie girl, our little queen lady friend, this particular version is worth around $10 to $12. So that's alright. That seems kind of cool. I love it because it's got this $11.95 price tag on it. So fun fact, when I was a kid, I think I was in middle school, maybe younger than that. Maybe it was before middle school. I went to a comic book shop. And it was a comic book shop this was when I was playing Magic, when I had just started getting into Magic. I was about 11 or so years old. and I went to the LGS with my friend, and this was the same LGS that I've told stories about seeing Palladium Moors in the glass case and getting all excited, and like that's what made me get into Magic. So it was that LGS, and I went there with my friend, and he basically, this LGS owner was basically saying how he was fire selling all of his Pokemon cards because they were taking up too much space and they weren't worth anything. And like that's why when you guys hear me say like, oh, like I've never thought about my Pokemon cards as being valuable because I spent such a long time thinking they weren't worth anything. Like straight up. So I went to this LGS and he was fire selling all these Pokemon cards. And I was like, oh my god, like, is this actually $12? And he's like, oh no, I'm not, like, it's sad. He basically explained to me these cards with the price tags. He said they sat in the glass casing for so long, and he would have to downshift their price tags. And it finally got to a point of where he just couldn't even bother selling it for like $12 a piece. So he gave me these cards for like $3 a piece. Like he gave me that for like $2 or $3. He gave me this for $2 or $3. There's a few others in here with price tags that he did the same thing on. But I distinctly remember that, and he was like, listen, like I'll give these to you for like $2 or $3 because these have been sitting in my case for like years and nobody's bought them. So I'll just give them to you at this crazy discount. So I got these for really cheap, but because he gave them to me for $2 or $3, but they had the $12 price tags on them. I thought it was really cute. Like I got them for a steal, you know? So I wanted to keep the price tags on them because I thought that was really cool. And they're not on the actual card. They're on, like, you can see, like, my finger goes right underneath it. They're on, like, the casing, so, but yeah, they're cool, and I like them. So, Nidoqueen here, it's funny because I got her for $2 or $3, and she had this $12 price tag, and as I'm looking on TCG Player, she's worth about $12, so it's like, in the amount of time since I bought it, she went from the window sell price of $12 down to like $2 or $3, and then back up to $12 when I'm looking at her again. So that's cool. That's cool. I think that's a really neat thing. Let me take a look at the chat really quick. Let's see. Ooh, excuse me. I just drank a lot of coffee right before I started this stream. Dragon's Lair Gaming says Babylon 5, Star Wars, Star Trek, Highlander, MTG. Wow, you got a lot of stuff to get through, buddy. That's a lot. Ratherwood says there's Pikachu Variations, Shadows, Red Cheeks versus Yellow Cheeks. Let me see which one the one I have is. So this one's Yellow Cheeks. He's from the first base set and he's got Yellow Cheeks. Well, second base set. I'm sorry, not the first base set. Or I should say first base set, second printing. It's kind of weird trying to keep track of that stuff. I have a 2-track tape recorder, says Kingle. Oh, still talking about music. Very nice. Dragon's Lair Gaming says partial set of 5th edition MTG might be worth something to a collector. I think that, like, even if you look into 4th edition stuff for Magic the Gathering, prices are really cheap for, like, 4th edition, 5th edition, and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think that's, like, if you're just legitimately trying to squeeze money out of your collection, then go for it. You could probably get, like, like, a few bucks or so off of the rares from 5th edition. But I don't expect them to be very extremely expensive, unless something has changed that I'm unaware about, because I'm not a person who constantly keeps up with the market on any card game, to be honest, which is proof positive of why we're going through this collection, to figure out what the hell's going on here. Let's see, Mr. Shed says, doesn't the TCG Player app let you scan using your phone's camera for speed and ease? I've never tried to use it before, but you know what? After today's stream, I might try it out. Dragon's Lair Gaming says to Mr. Shed, it does, but it also records what you scan, and you need to be really good contrast between the card and the background. Yeah, I could see that. King Gold says, the only rare Pokemon card I have is the first print of Charizard, like the base set with no shadow, because that's like worth $1,000. So if it's in good condition, then look that shit up, dude, and try and either hold on to it or sell it, man. Whatever you fancy, if that's the case. Ratherwood says, that's like the card, Kingold. So, Kingold, your reaction in my stream just now is actually how I reacted in the Shuffle Master stream. I was like, dude, I have that Charizard. And he's like, well, that's like worth like $500, bro. So you should probably do something about that. And then that's what got me into doing what we're seeing right here, right now. So, you know, maybe King Gold, maybe that's your calling to go over your collection as well and price it out. King Gold says, "Durr, I really like the name of the Penguin Soldiers." That's awesome. Yep, that's the one, says King Gold. Well, get it checked out, man. I'm actually debating whether or not I even want to get mine appraised. Because I've never appraised a card before. I don't know what that's like, so I'm a little nervous about the idea of doing it. But, you know what? If you, like, legit, King Gold, if you go out and you find out the condition of your card and it's good enough to get appraised, and you go out and appraise it, and you let me know, like, legit, get in my Discord, contact me, let me know the process you went through to get your card appraised, and let me know, like, what it was like, and that might help cement the idea of me getting mine appraised. So, if you do it, I'll do it! Ratherwood says, check online, make sure your band name is unique. Oh yeah, you're talking about music, yeah. The Penguin Soldiers were rocking, I'm glad you like that. That was the first band I was ever in, and it was a lot of fun. So let's go back, I'm gonna go back over to the TCG player here, I got it over on the side. And I'm going to look up this base set Nidoking. Second print. I don't think I have any of the original... Well, that's not true because the Alakazam I have is a original print from the first base set. But it's heavily damaged, and I got it from another person. It wasn't part of my original collection. So, ignoring that Alakazam, I don't know if I have any other base set cards, like original prints. But if I see them, it'll be cool, and I'll definitely point them out. Base set Shadowless Nidoking, which is not what I have. It's Legendary Collection. Base set second print, here we go. So, ooh! Base set Nidoking second print has a $30 price tag on him. That's cool. I'm probably going to have to pull him out and put him in a hard case. I'll come back. I will... You know what? Let me go ahead and pull that sucker out right now. Anytime I find something that's like that, I mean, maybe I'll take out Nidoqueen. We'll see. But Nidoking's got to come out because that is like $30 right there on the binder. I didn't know that. I didn't know that shit. Like I said, that's why I'm doing this stream. I'm finding this stuff out so I can pull these guys out and try to maybe take a little bit better care of them, throw them into a hard case, what have you. But yeah, this guy apparently is $30. That's pretty rad. I'll put him over here on the side. We'll pull him out. Let's see. What else? I have these Japanese... Let me make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. I'm kind of in a few different spaces here, so... Let me just make sure you guys... Yeah, you guys can see it. Okay, cool. So these are Japanese rocket foil Golbats. I was telling you guys about the LGS I went to where the guy gave me a bunch of cards for like crazy cheap. These Japanese foil Golbats, I remember for sure being part of those cheap cards that I got. So I want to say they're probably not worth anything, but let's go ahead, take a look. Let me see if they are actually worth something. I think I need to put the word rocket in there. Let's see, Golbat Rocket. Oh, wow, there it is. Dark Golbat Rocket Edition, foil. Whoa, that's not what I was expecting. So it might be different because these are Japanese, so that could affect the price tag. But the English version of the Rocket Dark Golbat foils are about approximately $10 a piece. I was not expecting that. That's cool. Let me kind of... I'm gonna right-click this guy and see if I can get a price tag on the Japanese version. Let's see what they'll say here. It could be... they're not telling me. I thought there was a way to change, like, what language it was in, but it doesn't seem like I can do that here. There's probably a way, like a filter, because they have a lot of good filters on here, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, wow, these cheap... Wow! the damaged ones go for like $5. So like if this guy had any damage, he would still be worth about $5, which is kind of impressive to me that it would be like that. I just assume like a lot of the time that like if a card is damaged, it's screwed, but that's not the case, man. But yeah, these guys go for about $10 a piece. I'm gonna assume, here's what I'll do. I'll say because it's Japanese, it's worth about $8 or $9. I feel like that's a pretty good guess for that. So let's kind of move on here. That's good to know, though. I mean, I'm gonna leave them in the binder with Nidoqueen because Nidoqueen is worth about like $12. So, like, I've wanted to pull Nidoking simply because it's like it's a $40 card. Like, you know, like I probably should pull that out. All right. So now, let me make sure you guys can see it. I have, oh yeah, it's off camera, so it's kind of tough to see. So let me scooch it over a little bit. So I have this foil Erica's Vileplume down here. I want to say that I looked it up before, because I was skimming the cards earlier. Like, when I did the last stream, I skimmed some of the cards to kind of get an idea. I didn't look at all of them. Like I said, like, the Nidoking caught me off guard, because I didn't price that one out. I didn't think about it. But I think I looked up this Erica's Vileplume, and I think it wasn't worth very much. But we're going to take a look just in case. By the way, when it comes to Pokemon, like, in general, like, the games and stuff like that, I love Vileplume. I think Vileplume is really cool. I used to have, like, a really good build. Like, not talking about the cards, talking about the games. I used to play with Vileplume a lot in the Pokemon card games. Okay, so it looks like this Erica's Vileplume goes for... So the damaged ones go for about $4. The perfect condition ones... Let me go back. Hold on. Because it kind of gave me a good range. The perfect condition... The ones that are in good condition are worth about $10 to $11. So that's kind of rad. Like I said, I'm keeping it in the binder. It's fine as it is. I mean, it's totally possible that in a few years, all these price tags are going to, like, jump through the roof for some of these. But for now, like... Oh, that's not what I wanted. Get out of here. Get out of here. I'm just going to keep it in the binder as it is. Anything that's worth, like... The reason why I pulled the cards out that I pulled previously was because they were $40 or more. So now I'm kind of, like... I've moved the range down from 40 to, like, 20. So, and mind you, these are no joke. These are nothing to scoff at. Like, they're still worth about, like, $10, so it is a good idea to keep my eye on them in case they go up in the future. But, it's not worth pulling out. And it's already in a penny sleeve. It's fine. I'm not too worried about that. Let me catch up on the chat just a smidge bit. Let's see. King Gold. Ratherwood says, check online, make sure your band name is unique. I already read that, sorry. My friend worked at a theater. He has a stack of promo Entei. Oh, that's one of the promo cards I have. That's cool. Ratherwood says, woo, Oddish weed-type Pokemon. Hell yeah, man. You gotta smoke that fresh, clean Oddish. Look at all these Oddishes, by the way. I think I was trying to, like, do... Because these are all from different sets. These are from, like, Jungle and stuff like that. And then these ones are from whatever BS thing that these come from, because I don't recognize where they come from. But they were all kind of, like, part of, like, a collection, you know? So, like, I kind of tried to line them up. And I never, ever owned a original print Jungle Vileplume. Ever. So that slot has always been empty for the final Vileplume. Over here, I don't think I see anything... I mean, I guess maybe this Venomoth. It says it's a rare, but it's not a foil. Let me just take a quick gander. I feel like it's not going to be worth anything, but... I've been wrong multiple times already, like, this Golbat isn't worth anything, and then it's $10, and I'm like, whoa. So let me take a look at this Venomoth. It is a jungle print, and let's see what we get. Venomoth. Wow, this guy's been printed so much. So there's the foil version, which is worth about $15. Doesn't seem like there's any info about the non-foil version. Yeah. Oh, that's weird. So they printed Jungle in the 2nd edition printing. That's weird. I didn't know that. And then there's... Oh, there he is! Okay, so... $3. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Venomoth. Glad that you're $3. Glad we did that. Moving on. That's so funny to me. I don't think any of these other guys are worth anything, so we're gonna move on. Ooh, this one's really cool. Giovanni's Persian. Giovanni's Persian. I'm gonna look this guy up. Let's take a gander. A gander goo. I also might kind of skip over a few of these just to get to some really spicy cards, because I have a few that I really want to show off that I think are really cool. How did that not work? How do you... Oh, it's 2 N's. Damn you, Giovanni, and your complex name. 2 N's, Mr. Giovanni. Okay. Whoa! Whoa! What the hell, Giovanni? Jesus! That man, he knows his Pokemon, dude. Giovanni, there's no screwing around with him. This Persian's worth $20. $20! What the hell? I'll pull him out. Sure, why not? I guess I should probably just hardcase most of these, right? I wasn't thinking that was going to be worth $20. Alright, so we got a $20 Giovanni's Persian. So that guy's out with Nidoking, so they'll be good friends in hard cases together. I'm sure they'll love that. Let's see here. Ratherwood says, yo, I used all kinds of Vileplumes in the video games. Dude, Vileplume is awesome. I love that card. That card was so dope. Like, I used to turn mine into, like, a speedy wall Pokemon. So, like, you'd make him super beefy, and he would move, like, fast as hell. And then, what, like, because he had the ability that allowed you, when the sun was out, his speed is doubled. So he's, like, crazy, crazy fast. And you put up, like, Sleep Powder and Leech Seed. You need Sleep Powder, Leech Seed, and then you need, what was that move? Substitute. And then something else. And the whole point was that you would, like, lay down the sleep powder so they fall asleep, and then you lay down the substitute while they're sleeping, and then you would lay down the leech seed while they're still asleep. Hopefully they'd still be asleep. And then usually around then they would wake up, and then you would put them to sleep again, and all you would have to do is just sit there and take all of their health away from them while they're sleeping. It's awesome. It's awesome. I love it. Love me some Vileplume action. Yeah, boy. Yeah. Vileplume, my boy. There was only one Pokemon who was better at doing that than Vileplume. And that's a big secret that I'm not going to reveal on this stream. Maybe someday you guys will figure it out. Ryderwood says, Meowth is a favorite of mine as well. Hey, Meowth is cool. King Gold says, hold on, sorry, I made a mistake. Don't get mad. It's okay. Dude, it's alright. I'm not going to get mad. I don't care, bro. Let's see, Ryderwood says there's the hidden power move. If it's fire type, it gets boosted by Sun 2. Oh, that's cool. Ryderwood's got some Pokemon knowledge all up in his brain. So I have to look something up out of purely curiosity. So I heard a long time ago that the original Kadabra from the base set, which is this guy right here, I can't remember where I heard the story, but basically this card is really hard to find because after its second printing, they had to stop printing it because they were in a lawsuit against a television psychic who apparently believed that Kadabra was based off of him, and he thought that it was a, like, insult. So he basically, like, sent a letter of, like, cease and desist, basically. And if I remember correctly, they were so nervous about it, they were so nervous about the possible lawsuit that they stopped printing that Kadabra. So let me see if I can... wow, so the first printing is worth $10. I had a feeling. And, oh, look, they reprinted it way later. That's cool. The second printing is worth $2. Okay, cool. Good to know, good to know. I was just curious because I heard that story a while ago. If it was an original print, though, That would be $10 in the bag, baby, just like that. That'd be pretty cool. Kind of like that if it was like a Shadowless Pikachu, it's worth like $20 or something. So that's pretty neat. It's not an original print, sadly. Do I have any other copies underneath it? Let me see. Both second printings both have shadows, so they're not original prints, which is too bad, because that would be really cool. I would want to have it like the original base set Kadabra, just because of the intrigue behind why they stopped printing it. It's this specific version. So they did print Kadabra again later in future sets, but it took them a long time to do it because there was a cease and desist against Pokemon about Kadabra, because there was like a psychic, like he was like a television psychic or something, and he was absolutely convinced that Kadabra was based off of his likeness. So he was pretty mad about that. Right away, there's a boy Machamp. He is a second print foil, and if I remember correctly, he's not worth much. Because apparently, this Machamp, it's first edition. Really? So it's not a second print, it's a first edition print. So let me take a look. I think I heard that specifically Machamp is not worth very much because they printed him into Oblivion in this set, which is, I believe, first edition. It might also be base set. Let me see. Let me take a look here. What do we got? That is a legend reprint, so that's not the right one. That is another reprint. Let's see. Where is the OG? That's a reprint. There's the OG. Okay, so we have... there he is, first edition. Okay, first edition... That's really weird. First edition. Oh, it's a deck exclusive. That's weird how they did that. That's really weird. Okay, so this one, there's two different printings, but this is the shadowed version from the first edition, like, base set print. I don't really understand how they do all these printings. It's very weird. It's very, very strange how they kind of categorize the printings versus the sets and so forth. And just like I was expecting, this guy was printed into Oblivion in this set specifically. And so even though he looks like he's probably worth much, he's worth about, I see, $14. So 14 to 15 bucks. Which, I mean, is cool. It's cool. Am I going to pull him out? No. Because I know that he's been printed a lot. Somebody informed me about that a while. I think it was actually when I was watching... like I said, I keep talking about Shuffle Master. I've been going to his streams and watching and learning about Pokemon cards, which I never thought I would be spending the time to learn about. But I'm pretty sure that it was Shuffle Master who explained the story about this guy getting printed a ton in this specific set. So that's why he's basically like Nidoqueen. He has... I got him... This is part of that story, which is I got him for about $2 or $3, and now he's returned full circle to be worth about approximately 12 to 13 bucks, which is kind of interesting. None of these guys really stand out from what I can see. Let's see, these Japanese mucks, these are another part of that that card shop I was telling you about, where I got them for about $2 or $3. They are from... Is that Fossil? Japanese Fossil. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look. Whenever I see a foreign language, and most of the time it'll be Japanese, I'm just going to automatically take off a couple of dollars from the price tag, simply because I want to assume that the different language means that it's going to be not worth as much. But I don't know. I don't really know. I could be wrong about that. Maybe they're worth more. So, let's see. That's a reprint. There he is. That's the non-foil. So let's see if we can find the foil. There's a lot of muck printings. There he is! Fossil foil. $8? There you go! So, because he's Japanese, I'm going to say he's worth about like $5 or $6. Does that sound about right? So I'm gonna say these two guys are about $6 a piece, $5 or $6 a piece, give or take, whatever. Cool. That's another $5 or $6 in the pocket. Kind of nifty. Ooh, Magneton. He's not a foil, but he's a rare. Maybe he's got a price tag to him. Let's see. Magneton! A Magneton! A Magneto on. Magneto on. Okay, so that is a original print, second edition. There he is, fossil. $3. Cool. All right, glad I looked that up. Yeah, he's worth $3. Very nice, very cool. I like you, Mikey likey. $3 in the pocket. $3 in the pocket. Oh goodness, I didn't even notice the time. So you know what? I'll do this again. Okay, guys? I promise I will do this again. We will come back. We will look at more cards. Because I didn't even get to the really spicy stuff. Like, I've got a few other really spicy cards in here that are probably worth doing something with. I have not actually, like I said, I have not looked up their price tags yet. But we can do that together and it'll be fun! It'll be a good time. Okay, so let me take a look at the chat log here. Ratherwood said, oh, that's right, we were talking about Vileplume and how badass Vileplume is. Dragonslayer Gaming says, I would say, set a bottom limit on what you hard case. Something around 20 or 25. I'm kind of saying about, like, $20. $20 gets a hard case. 20 or higher gets a hard case. Anything lower than $20, I'm not going to hard case. But I will keep an eye out for them, because if they're worth, like, 10 or $15 right now, then maybe 5 years from now, they'll be worth $20. So, I'll just keep it in mind. But not going to worry about it. So far, we found 2 cards that have a $20 or higher price tag on them. So we did it, guys! We found some cool stuff! We found some cool stuff in my ancient collection of cards. How rad is that? Anyways, continuing the comment from Dragon's Lair. Anything from like $10 hard case, bottom, penny sleeve, and have a separate binder for them. There you go. That seems like a good evaluation. Dragon's Lair Gaming also says, that is true about the lawsuit. I think they altered that artwork to get around that. Yeah, something like that. It's curious. Like, I mean, I might just keep it as, like, an interesting keepsake, you know? Ratherwood says, so the Nintendo bought the Psychic and now he's a Pokemon. Yes, absolutely. It was the spoons that Cadaver was holding. Yeah, I think it was also the star on the forehead. Because if I remember correctly, I think I remember hearing that the Psychic, the TV Psychic, also had a star on his forehead or something. Ratherwood says, I guess the final forms are the rares. Mostly, for the most part. King Gold says, I don't have a first edition of Charizard. Well, mind you, first edition Charizard's not actually worth very much. So what you want to look for is the 2 base sets. If you're looking at your Charizard, there are 2 base sets. Well, that's a lie. There's 1 base set, 2 printings, okay? So the Charizard that I keep showing off constantly in here, this is what's known as a second print. It's a first base set, which means the very first set of Pokemon ever released, but it's a second printing. So this isn't the original Charizard from the very first printing of the first base set. This is the second printing of the first base set. So the very first Charizard, which you can always tell if it's an original print, because you'll see if you look on the side here, there's a shadow on the side. Right here and also down here on the side. So the shadow indicates that it is a second printing. If there's no shadow on this side and this side, then it is a second printing from the first base set. So this one, which is the second print, is worth about approximately $500. And the original print from the first printing of the first base set, I think I read that it's about $1,000 or so, which is insane. Like, I don't think I've ever owned a card. This actually, in all seriousness, this might be the single most valuable card that I own of any card collection at all. It's the most valuable one. I've never owned a single card that is worth $500. That is absolutely insane to me. But it's all good, man. If you don't have it, then you don't have it. There's no reason to get upset. Like, I'm not gonna get mad at you. It's fine. I don't take it as you lying to me in the slightest. Okay. Rather it says, bro, it's cool. Calm down, King Gold. You still rock. It's all good, King Gold. It's fine. Dragonslayer Gaming says, at King Gold, most of the crew in here are just human. We all understand making mistakes and remembering things differently. We're all good. I've done that stuff too, where it's like, I think that I have, like, that I say, like, I'll say something that I think is one way, and then I'll go back and, like, look up what I said and be like, oh, that wasn't correct. I feel bad about that. But I think most of the time people will understand, and sometimes I'll just be like, hey, like, guys, you know, like, I misinterpreted what I was saying, or, like, you know, I said one thing, but really it's actually another. Like, I've done that a couple times, so don't even worry about it. Sam Dunn says this was fun. King Gold says, okay, thanks. Dragonslayer Gaming says, good stream, was fun looking through your past. Peace Outward says, Wrath of Wood. King Gold says, I did have it, but my stupid friend sold it and gave it to him to borrow. I had the Shadowless, but I do have the second. Yeah, so I have a memory. I'm going to go ahead and say this, and I didn't want to originally bring it up, but because I was, like, thinking to myself that maybe it's probably not good to say something that I know is true in my head, but I can't prove it because I don't have it. I actually used to have the original first print of Charizard, and it was given to me as a gift a long time ago by a family member in a hard case, and it was given to me as a supposed mint condition. The hard case was bolted and everything, and I remember it very clearly. And the memory that sticks out the most in my mind was a long, long time ago. I took it to a friend's house. He was like, bro, bring over your Pokemon cards. And mind you, this is an old childhood friend. Like, literally, like, I was probably like 10 years old. He was probably 10 years old. I haven't seen whoever that kid is. I can't even remember his name right now. I just remember what his face looks like. But I remember bringing over my cards, and he was like, bro, we'll do trades and stuff. And I was like, okay, I'm down. And I remember bringing over this hard case Charizard because I wanted to just show it off to him. And I had like a little backpack that I kept all my cards in, including this binder. Brought it over. And when I left that night, that Charizard was gone. Forever. Gone. Just gone. And I even remember calling him and being like, hey, I don't have my hard case Charizard anymore. Do you know where it went? And he's like, oh no, I don't know. Like, did you lose it? Like, are you good? Like, you want me to help you find it? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I mean, yeah. And like, I remember going over to his house like 2 or 3 times after that and like trying to find it, never finding it. And I was upset, but I didn't like fight with him or anything like that. It's like one of those things. It's like at that time it was like, well, I kind of treasure him as a friend. And I mean, it's funny because after we were kids, we weren't friends anymore, but I just never bothered about it. And I was like, whatever, like, it's fine. I don't care anymore. But yeah, that's a memory that I have. And like, I debated whether or not I was ever going to talk about it on stream, but here I am talking about it. But I definitely don't remember that kid's name because it was so long ago. And, even though it's kind of annoying, it's fine. Whatever. Life is like that sometimes. Like, I mean, like, I always hear stories all the time about people saying, I owned a Black Lotus once, and then, like, I took it to a friend's house, and that friend stole it from me, and I never saw it again. It's like, that shit happens. That's life, man, And I'm okay with that, because you know what? Considering that I don't have that mint condition first set one, I still have this guy, and the thing is I opened him! Like, the other one was given to me in a hard case as a gift, which was cool. But I got the experience of opening this guy. And that's, like, the coolest feeling. It's like you work to earn it, And that's what makes this one feel so much cooler to me. So I'm glad that I still have this guy. Anyways, guys, I'm going to end my stream here. I had a good time, and I hope you guys did too. This was a lot of fun. We'll do this again soon, I promise. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, give me a like, because I know you had a good time like I did, and follow your dreams, guys, and I will see you guys in the next stream, okay? Goodbye, guys! Goodbye! I will see you all very much later.